Dr. Stone has finally reached the climax of this science versus science battle. Dr. Stone has really come a long way, and our beloved characters has come face to face with many foes, like when they were up against Tsukasa, it was science versus strength. Then after that, they came face to face with Ibara, a cunning and manipulative genius who had the device to petrify people, and it caused many problems for our characters. This was the arc where our heroes come face to face against the petrification device and learn many things about it and how to counter it. And now in the current arc where Senku's Kingdom of Science has come face to face with another science user, Zeno, and his Kingdom of Science, with them having the capability of using modern weapons, and this really pushed our heroes to their very limits. So, Chapter 189 starts off with Kohaku still injured, and despite being close to death, she didn't feel a sense of fear, and she states that this was because she truly trusts that Senku and the Kingdom of Science will no doubt triumph over Stanley and his men. After this, we move on to see Taiju using the shock cannon to test out if the petrification device works, but unfortunately, it failed to activate. Ryusui states that once they finally get the device working, then victory will be theirs. But right after this, he adds a however, implying that even he is starting to doubt whether they will get the device working in time before Stanley arrives. Then we see both Chrome and Kaseki still unable and struggling to create a diamond that has a perfect crack through the middle of it. Chrome then yells out for Kohaku, Hyoga and Tsukasa to do whatever they can to buy them enough time and slow down Stanley. Unfortunately, his cries bears no fruits, as next we switch over to Stanley insisting on going forward even when they now have no functioning transceiver, and he justifies his decision after analyzing the situation and was confused as to why the Kingdom of Science sent their 3 best fighters right at the start, unless they were trying to stall for time. With this, Stanley and his men continue onwards. At this moment, we switch over to Senku as he sees Kaseki and Chrome still struggling to get the device to work, which leads Senku to task Luna to be the one to depetrify them after the battle has been won. Ryusui then chimes in by telling Chelsea to be Luna's guide, and without question, Chelsea accepts his request. And right after, we see both Ryusui and Senku show doubtful looks on their faces. After Luna and Chelsea take their leave, Chelsea, who could no longer hold it in, starts crying, which confuses Luna as she asks what's wrong. Then we switch over to Ukyo as he picks up sounds with his great hearing and spots Stanley's group, and also sees Ginro, Matsukaze, Francois, and Suika all tied up with no sign of Kohaku, Hyoga, and Tsukasa. And as he realizes that those 3 might already be gone, we switch back to Chelsea explaining to Luna that everyone in the Kingdom of Science already knows that despite all their hard work, the device will not be completed in time before Stanley arrives, and this was also the reason why Senku and Ryusui sent them both away, because they are the weakest of the group with no combat experience. Hearing this, Luna tries to run back while shouting in denial as Chelsea tries to stop her. Then, from a distance, the two see explosions going off at the fort as Stanley's men had arrived. We see Gen and Taiju as Taiju voluntarily tries to hold them back to buy as much time as possible for Chrome and Kaseki, but Taiju then gets caught in an explosion. Gen cries out for Taiju as he looks over Taiju's body, which was covered in blood. Gen, who was starting to cry, tries to wake Taiju up and mentions that Taiju was meant to be invincible no matter how much damage he gets. We then switch over to Zeno as he talks to Ryusui with a smile on his face, saying that the battle has come to an end and that Stanley can no longer be stopped, and also mentions that Senku, who will never join Zeno, will face either death or life imprisonment. Zeno then tries to convince Ryusui that if some of them joins him, then he may still be spared. Hearing this, Ryusui laughs as he says that it's not over yet, since every second that they still have means that they still have a chance to turn things around, and they will never give in, as Senku and his kingdom will keep striving for a future full of science, and that no matter who they lose along the way, in the end, they will come out victorious thanks to the science of the future, Dr. Stone. And with this line, we see Ryusui also get shot, and also we see Senku save Kaseki from an explosion that also destroyed the diamonds they were working on. That's the conclusion of the chapter. Even after all the chaos and destruction that Stanley has caused with the bombs, Ryusui still believed that Senku will come out victorious. But now, with all the diamonds destroyed, I'm not sure as to how they will accomplish this, since it seems so hopeless at this point. But maybe they are still hiding a last trick that can still turn the tide, which will make them victorious in the end. I really think that this chapter managed to give the readers a sense of hopelessness, since everything seems lost at this point in time. I'm looking forward to how they will eventually come out on top despite all the losses they have gotten. So that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter analysis video. Please hit the like button. To see more, please hit the subscribe button and comment down below what other manga you want me to cover. And with that, peace out.